Hey folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Yes, the video is way late this morning, today, this afternoon. I don't know what time it is. I was getting ready to actually record the video and got toned out for a structure fire call. It was actually mutual aid for a department on the other side of another department, so it was like a 30-mile drive almost to get there. But they were very short on manpower, and so got in there and ran a hose for a while, and then dropped the water that I was bringing in the engine that I brought. Everyone was okay, no injuries. It was a barn that got caught fire, but the barn was a loss, but there were several structures around it and expensive equipment that we did save. So I look at that as a success, because out here in the rural, middle of nowhere, if your barn catches fire, it's highly unusual that the fire department's going to put it out before it's a loss. It's just, it takes time. You're just out here, Anyway, so that's why the video's late today. It was a good fire though. I mean, good time. Awful for the people that lost their structure, but everything else went really great. Gold has set another record, skyrocketing. Silver, there's reports that gold and silver are being bought up by like crazy, like a bunch of just drunken fools out there, that millions and millions of ounces. There's even talk that maybe shortages of purchasing, to buy, that there's shortages out there of these metals. That's a big deal when you look at all the wonkiness right now in the markets. Currencies, all this kind of stuff. People are massively moving towards that. And what's interesting, and this isn't the video, but I just thought I'd say this, with all the talk over the last several years, and especially recently, of cryptocurrencies, of how they're the new big thing. That's where you want to put your money in. It's a good solid investment and all this kind of stuff. It's interesting that cryptocurrencies fluctuate fairly in line with stock market and stuff. So when the stock market's going down and people are pulling their money out, it's very similar happening in the crypto world. And what we watch is that everyone still puts their money in those times into gold and silver. They're still putting their money in the precious metals, not in the cryptocurrencies when things are sketchy. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. President Trump is still very much talking about the United States will take control of Gaza, the Gaza Strip. That once the Israeli military says that they're done, that their operation is done, and they pull out, that the United States moves in and basically kicks all the Palestinians out. The entire world, pretty much the entire world, that I can tell. Most nations and stuff are saying this is horrible idea. I really can only find that the United States and Israel are the only ones that's in favor of this so far. I mean, that could change, but they're just not in favor of this. And I don't know. I understand that there's a canal there that they're wanting to build, and I get all that. I know all of that kind of stuff. But this just seems kind of out there in left field, extreme, and it just seems like there's going to be a lot of problems. I mean, think about this, folks. Let's just play this out, because you all have lots of experience of at least paying attention to what goes on in the Middle East, because it's been going on for decades now. Like, unless you've been living really under a rock, everybody understands at least somewhat of how things go over there. So Israel finally says, okay, yes, we've completely successful. We're done. Our military operation's over. The United States moves in. They're going to have to move military troops in there. You cannot just say, okay, we're only going to bring like builders and contractors and stuff like that. They're going to have to bring military occupational forces in. There will most likely, I mean, not guaranteed, but most likely be little skirmishes and little attacks on the street. So there's going to be constant problems there. If you think that these people are just going to walk away, it's not going to happen. I mean, they might be forcefully round up, but there's still going to be people there. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to get every single one of them out. There's going to be problems, and there's going to be attacks and little terrorist attack, and there'll be loss of life, and it's all this kind of stuff. It's just going to be a big nightmare. Anyway, so that's going on. Supposedly that Trump is getting ready to announce his peace plan for Ukraine and Russia. They're saying it was leaked, and what is leaked is basically Ukraine pretty much gets nothing. Ukraine gives up those areas that Russia, and that's assuming this is the actual plan. I mean, this all could be just a smoke and mirrors and stuff. But if according to what is being reported, that the areas that Russia has taken over will become Russian sovereign land. Ukraine will never be allowed to join NATO, and Europe, most likely the United Kingdom, will take over kind of the policing and rebuilding and all that kind of stuff of Ukraine. I doubt that Ukraine, Zelensky, probably most of Europe will agree to that, but who knows? They may not have a choice. Probably one of the bigger things I think that's not been talked about much is that it's in regard to this H5N1. Now, as you know, I know there's going to be people that say things in the comments that try to correct and stuff. What I'm reporting here is based on the official story, okay? The official news story of it. It may not actually be what's really happening, but it is the official story. The official story, and as you know, with these viruses, there's all kinds of variants and stuff. And so the vast majority of this H5N1 bird flu that has been spreading around the United States is one particular variant, like B313 or something. I don't remember exactly what it is. And it has not shown to be very deadly in humans. You know, the symptoms are mild. It's been deadly in birds, very, very deadly in birds, but not that deadly in humans. Well, there's another one, a very, I guess, obscure one called D1.1, and that one has been very bad. One human case up in that one in British Columbia up in Canada, that person was very critically ill, almost died, but did not. And then there was the case in Louisiana of the teen that did die because of it. That was the ones that they had. Well, they're saying that now has moved into cattle, that there had been some possible cases, maybe not completely confirmed cases in cattle, but now they're saying it's definitely moving through cattle, moving through mammals, and they believe that this move will make it to where it's more easily transmissible, or at least it's getting to that point of being easily transmissible in humans. And as of right now, they're saying that the mortality rate, the death rate's like 50%. Now, I doubt that it's actually that high, but my goodness, that's insane. I mean, the Spanish flu wasn't even close to that. The Spanish flu was like, what was it, like 18% or something? It was 15%. I mean, if it was even half of 50%, 25%, 20%, that would be absolutely devastating. And they're saying that one is starting to move through. There's several other countries now around the world that are showing that they're getting cases in human cases of H5N1, and just lots and lots and lots of birds are being killed. Livestock, chickens, turkey, ducks, that kind of stuff, but then also a lot of wild. There's been a lot of Canadian geese that's died from it. There's been a lot, and it's quite possible with all this other stuff. I know I've been saying this for a very long time. I get it, but it is building, and it is building, and it is building, and we have to be prepared for that, because if this thing hits, which if this is all orchestrated and planned, okay, if that's the case, we don't know it, but most of us probably figure it is. If it's all orchestrated, of course they're going to do it at the time where everything else is going on, right? There's all kinds of other chaos. Like I said yesterday, there could be at some point, with all the illegals getting kicked out, the tens of thousands, and that's, we're looking at least tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of American workers losing their jobs because they're government workers. I'm not opposed to that. All this, transgenders can't play in sports, against women. All this stuff that's going on. This draining of the swamp is what it looks like. That for once, it's actually happening, is what it appears to be. The amount of pushback could be insanely extreme, and the amount of violence in the streets, all the way up to and past Civil War. I said yesterday, I've always thought that the left, while they may not have as much capability of that physical fighting Civil War, I think they would be more likely to do it because they would be more likely to actually fight their fellow man. I mean, conservatives, we just don't want to do it. Actually fight our fellow American, even if they don't agree with us. So all of that stuff happening, bird flu, it's catastrophic is what, and I know you're saying, oh, well, you were saying that before. If in fact, the Trump administration is actually working against the system, against the deep state, against all that, they want to stop it. And there's not been any effort so far to actually stop it. Everything they tried beforehand didn't work. He got into office. It's like they're doing nothing. And he's going through, and it appears that, it's like a slaughterhouse in there. At some point, they're going to push back. You better get ready for it. If that's not the case, then it's even worse than that. Because it means that all this that Trump is doing is because he's part of the deep state, part of the plan. So either way, we've got a rough road ahead of us. You better be getting ready, getting your houses in order, preparing yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.